What's good, y'all? What's good? What's up? You done fucked up my intro, Mimi. What's good? What y'all doing? What's cracking? What's the haps? What y'all been on? Alright, so in this video, I'm finna talk about the nature of relationships when you're sexually fluid. And that is meant to encompass like anyone who is attracted to more than one sex, right? I myself, I'm bisexual, but I'm talking about pan. Well, I'm fluid, which is a more specific version of bisexual, but I'm including pan, sapiosexual. It's so many of them now, but y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So what kind of spurred this video, right, is I was okay. All right, you gonna have to go somewhere. Also, this is Mimi. Say what's up. Okay, all right. It's my roommate's girlfriend's dog. I'm dog sitting, so yay! Look at me, I'm cute. Yeah, you're just adorable. You're adorable, aren't you? Aren't you? Look at you. All right. So, basically what spurred the idea for this video is just what spurs a lot of my videos, for real. My life experience, right? As I'm growing and what's the word? Just living life in my, being myself, being fully who I am with my sexuality and all that. The labels that, most people use to define, their relationships and all that kind of stuff, I'm finding doesn't always work for me, right? And I'll get into what I mean by that. So I've mentioned in the past, like I've had several situationships, right? Where it wasn't all the way to a relationship because, it wasn't official in that capacity, even though the feelings might have been there on both sides or just one side, or, for whatever reason, it was a situationship and that was all it ever was, right? And I can say how many is that? There was, can I name these niggas? Nah, let me not. I'll get them fake names. So let's see, there was, let's call that nigga Marcus, OG. I know OG make the nigga sound old, but nah, he just a thug, for real. No, that's no. What am I doing? Darius. What should I name this nigga? And Michael. Yeah, 4. No. Donovan. 5. I'm not finna remember all these niggas' names. I don't know why I just did that. But anyway, this has been 5 times where I've been in a situation that was too complicated to really say, well, not even too complicated. I could have called these things fuck buddies or, some other thing, friends with benefits, but situationship is what fits most, like all of these for real, right? So let's say with Marcus was a young nigga, right? He was younger than me. I think I was like 22. No, I was like 22 and he was like 18, right? And homeboy stayed far away. It's the typical, like I don't know who up first, but we started on Instagram talking and flirting, and it got to the point where I was like, I really fuck with you, like I'm trying to, see what's up, see you be my boo type shit. But he lives up north, right? This was when I was still living in LA. But he lives up north past the mountains, like past Big Bear. So it was about a 2-hour drive. I finally get to go see this nigga, and you know what's gonna happen. I get there, and what's going on is actually a party for his nephew, right? And that being the vibe of our first interaction was already kind of weird. But fast forward past me meeting his family before I even met him, to be honest, which was weird. But fast forward past me meeting his family, his sisters kind of gave like they didn't seem like they was really fucking with me. I don't know, whatever reason. But yeah, meeting his family and, you know, the party, because that shit didn't really matter. Like, all his friends was there, so I met all his friends. I was kicking it with them for a minute while he was running around, you know, doing shit for his family, right? And we get past all that. I finally get to kick it with this nigga. We in the car, we kissing, we laying up, and then we fuck, because I drove 2 hours. We gon' fuck. Honestly, I'm gonna just say this right now. All my situationships, I have the best sex with these niggas. And I'll say that's partly because there's, you know, emotions involved. When you emotionally invested, the sex is gonna be better. That's just off rip, because you care more, right? And the other person cares more. But yeah, I'm also say that Marcus is an Aquarius, right? And what I'll say, what I was, my most recent conversation with my homeboy, my roommate about Aquariuses, is that we've come to a consensus that y'all niggas can't make up your minds. No way, no how. You don't know what the fuck y'all want. No, you think you do, but you don't. You don't. I swear you don't. Lie again. And that was pretty much the situation with homeboy, right? I'm like very transparent about who I am, because like I'm not finna lie about who I am, especially when I'm trying to get to know somebody and fuck with them. Like, no. So obviously this was around the time I was doing OnlyFans. And while I was talking to him, I had stopped. Like, I was off that shit because I was invested. But after I link with this nigga, I drive back home. Convo starts getting weird. Shit start falling off. He stopped texting me back. I think the nigga ghosted me for like a full 2 weeks, right? And I'm just sitting here like, what the fuck? This is like just some weird ass shit. But after 2 weeks, he hits me back. He's like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't know how to tell you, but, you know, I can't really fuck with, you know, like the OnlyFans shit. Like, you be fucking these niggas. And had he told me that without ghosting me, we could have had that conversation and I would have told him. And I'm sure I mentioned it at some point that I wasn't doing OnlyFans while I was talking to that nigga anyway. But essentially, that was the issue. Or that's what he said was the issue, right? And I was like, okay. We started talking again. Things more or less went back to normal. I'd say another week, 2 weeks maybe, nigga ghost me again. At that point, I was just done, right? And then, I don't know, probably didn't talk for maybe a month, 2 months, couple months. This nigga hits me back again. Oh, you know, like, I'm sorry, you know, like, you really special to me. I just don't be knowing how to express myself and all this kind of shit. And I'm like, bruh, no, this is not what I'm here for. You feel me? But essentially, that's why I fell off with that nigga, right? And I'm gonna go through all these stories, and I'm gonna bring it together to my point at the end of this. I got y'all, right? Now with OG, like I said, this nigga's a thug. This nigga is he from the streets, right? He's slang, right? And our initial conversation, I think I met him on Jacked. I think so. Pretty sure I met that nigga on Jacked. Pretty sure. But with that, it was supposed to be, you know how when you link niggas on Jack, you just expect them to fuck or whatever, but Because he started off with just a face pick and not like some ass or nothing, you know, I'm thinking, okay, this might be something more significant. You feel me? So, okay, hi, Munchkin. Hi. So we link. He pulls up to my crib. And he got a nice ass car. What was he? I think he was driving a Benz. No, he was young. He was a BMW. Yeah, it was a Beamer. So, yeah, he pulled up in a Beamer. You know, this nigga look good. He sagging. You know, he got some colorful ass straws. Oh my god. Bruh. I love it when niggas sag, bro. I love that shit so much. That shit is such a turn on. Cause like, and that nigga. Okay, let me let me get to the rest of the story. So he pull up to the crib, and at this time I was still smoking. So you know we smoke a blunt, we kick it, we chill, and I think I wasn't doing anything at the time, so I think did we just drive around? No, he had to take care of some business. Yeah, he had to link with some nigga, and he was like, "You want to slide with me?" I was like, "All right, shit, I ain't doing nothing." So I slide with this nigga, and we drive to like toward LAX, right? So we near the girl. What are you doing? Chill out. We near the airport. We at this parking structure, and he was like, "You just sit here. I'll be right back." And I'm like, all right. And that's what I'm saying. When this nigga gets out the car, that's when I look and I'm like, damn, just, cake thug. Yeah, that shit got me excited. So, not right now. No, just then. Yeah, calm down, y'all. This ain't that kind of video. But yeah, so that shit got me excited. And he only took like 15 minutes maybe before he got back in the car. And no, we was just driving and talking. Like, shit was real smooth. She was real smooth with dude. And this nigga is a Sagittarius, right? And I don't know if I've mentioned before, but the first nigga I ever caught feelings for, he was a Sag. And that was all kinds of toxic, right? But that's besides the point, right? So we was driving around just talking. I think we only had that one blunt, so we wasn't smoking no more. So we was riding around just talking, just chilling, talking about life. You know, he was telling me about his background. You know, he had some family tragedies, lost some people that was close to him, you know. And, you know, I felt for the nigga, I did, right? And after that, he took me back to the crib, and I probably linked the nigga sometime within the next week, right? At that point, we drove. I think he must have stayed near LAX or something, because we was always over that way. But we chill the fuck out. We ended up, he wanted to get a place, right? He wanted to get a place so we can, you know, lay up, stay the night, all that kind of shit. And yeah, we didn't smash. We didn't smash. It was on some, the connection I had with him was physical later. Like, it was more of an emotional connection, you feel me? Because, like, I understand sadness very well. I don't know. that's a little strange to say, but I feel like that's the emotion I've experienced the most in my life. You feel me? So we understood each other on that front. You feel me? Like he had a lot of pain, and all I wanted to do was hold that nigga, right? And comfort him, right? So that was how we started off. You know, that night in the room, we ain't do nothing but lay up. I just held that nigga, and he got night shivers. So he'd be shaking. He'd get tremors in his sleep, and I would just like it made me hold him closer. Like I had to caress this nigga's head, like make him calm down, relax, all that. Like it was real intimate. You feel me? Really cared for that nigga, and I was shit. We'd only been talking for like 2 weeks. Right? This was probably our second time linking up. So yeah, that was the nature of that, right? And we kissed a lot. Like that nigga, he's top 5 all time, one of the best kissers. And I think that's because of the emotional understanding. You feel me? Because when you there with somebody like that, like that's been my experience. Like they know how to kiss you the way you need to be kissed. You feel me? So, there's only one other time that I can remember us linking. But I think, okay, so after we got the room that night in the morning, we did back because I had to go home because I was, still living with my mom's at the time, and she would be tripping about where I was. So we left, and then we got some breakfast at this coffee shop. And it's like I said, because this nigga is from the streets, like he bought that life. Like this nigga had paper. Like he was trying. I don't let people take care of me in general, but he was trying to take care of a nigga, right? So yeah, like he be trying to buy me stuff, presents, and get food and all that type of shit. But that's not me, right? But we went to the coffee shop, got some breakfast, and all I can really remember besides that was he put me on the song "What's on Your Mind" by K Camp. I think it's by K Camp. Because I don't know, that whenever I hear that song, I think of him. Right? That was the first time I heard that song. It was him. I think it was one of his favorites. Right? So these are like, little markers for each situationship, like memorable parts. But yeah, I think I can only remember Lincoln one time after that. We went to the beach, and we didn't. It was late at night, right? So we didn't actually go on the beach. Like we was we had to be by Venice Beach, probably a little back from the Strip, if y'all know where that is. But we was on like a little cliff, and we could just see the ocean and shit, and we was just laying up and kissing and talking, and that's all we ever. No, that's not all we ever did. Oh yeah, okay, I lied. That was the second to last thing I can remember, because there was one time where Moms wasn't home, and he came over to my crib, and that time we fucked. That was the one and only time we fucked. And I'll say this, like I never needed to have sex with that nigga because of the nature of our connection was very intimate. It was very emotional. It was very fulfilling to the point where I didn't need the physical. You feel me? Like that was not a necessity for me. But he wanted to fuck. Like he whipped my dick out and he sat on that shit. Can I say that? Is that too explicit for YouTube. I don't know. If this video gets banned, so be it. But it'll be here until then. So that was OG, right? And just put it out there, he was maybe 2 years older than me, right? But what ended with that, same thing. One day, the nigga just stopped communicating. Like, I don't know what, it's a common thing with niggas. Like, communication is not our strong suit in general. It's my strong suit. Like, I'm great at that shit. But the vast majority of niggas that I come across, nah. So, what I can remember, stop it. What I can remember is homeboy just ghosted me, right? Fell off, conversation got less and less and less, stopped talking to me for whatever reason. And the other common trend here is that niggas will stop talking for a minute and then want to come back into your life, because it had to be close to a year before I heard from this nigga again. And he was on some, hey, I'm sorry, like, I ghosted you, like, I was going through a lot at the time, like, are you ready to hear my apology, or something like that. And I don't know what I was on at the time, can't remember if I was invested in somebody else or whatever, but I was just like, nah. Because when I feel about you that way, like when we're connected emotionally that way, it hurts a lot more for you to just stop communicating, like giving no warning, no reason, no nothing. I don't hear from you for like at least 8 months, and then you want to pop up talking about some, hey, I'm sorry. Like, nah, it don't work like that, G. It don't. So that was OG, right? Now, what was the other nigga's name? Darius. Do I even need to get into Darius? Okay, well, Darius. Darius is the most long-lived of my situationships, right? And that's because he is emotionally intelligent in the same way that I am. We understand each other, right? Communication was not an issue with him, right? The main thing with us would be that I love him, but not in a romantic way, right? And that is because, and I've actually talked about Darius before in some of my other videos. Don't remember what I called him, or if I even gave him a name, but we have been, and I'll still talk to dude. Yeah, we still chop it up from time to time. Like, I'm in Atlanta now, he lives in Long Beach, but we still communicate. Like, I'm still there for him, right? But yeah, it was never a romantic connection because he like 4 or 5 years younger than me, which isn't that big a deal, but even though he's emotionally intelligent and we can communicate, he's on some baby boy type shit. Like, he likes to be baby, which is fine. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but that's not the personality that's not romantically attractive to me, right? Like, if I'm gonna be with a nigga, I want someone who's on my same level, who's gonna rock with me, who like you my homie and you my baby, like you my nigga and you my baby type shit. I'm sure I've said that before, right? But with him, he just wanted to be the baby, right? So that is why my feelings for him, and I'm not about to try changing nobody, right? You perfect the way you are. There's no reason, like, I don't feel these things. I can't make myself feel these things. You can't ever make anybody change their feelings. Their feelings is how they feel. Like, that's like one of the laws of nature type shit, right? That's something you can't change. Once you feel it, you feel it. You feel it or you don't, right? But the love I have for him is always there because, like I said, I love him as a friend. And he's a situationship because we fuck. And we fucked a lot over the course of us being in close proximity to one another. Because, what was it? It was like 2 years. It was like 2 years we was fucking with each other, right? And he wanted me to be his boyfriend, but I couldn't be there for him like that because I just didn't feel that way. All right. But that's really all. I think that's all I really need to say about that one, right? Other than, we spent a lot of time together. I'll say from the outside looking in, you would probably think that we was a couple in some instances. But it wasn't like we wasn't always cuddled up. Like, I'll show him affection because I love the nigga and all that type of shit. But it's just not romantic in that sense, right? Now, as I'm explaining this, some of y'all may not understand where I'm coming from, but the line between romantic love and from friendship love and all that kind of stuff, it's there. Like, the line is solid. But when you're a nigga who likes niggas and you're like me, because, like, I'm trying to explain this without it getting too complicated, right? So I'll put it this way. I am a masculine presenting individual, right? All my friends, these have been my niggas for 10 plus years. And all of my friends, my circle, the 3 niggas that I fuck with, they're all straight, right? But I'm say that to say that I still prefer, like, masculine dudes. I've only ever felt romantic attraction to masculine dudes, right? But I feel sexual attraction to niggas in general, right? So I can be sexually attracted to a nigga who's a little more femme presenting or not as masculine as I would, prefer in a relationship. There's no problem with me getting, sexually aroused. But when it comes to something more significant, romantic, love, that type of shit, it has to be that. It has to be a nigga. It has to be someone who's like me, right? And because it's like that, it can be confusing at times. Even in the past, I've been confused because, and when I get to this last nigga, y'all will understand why. I've been confused because the lines between the romantic and friendship, they can get really blurred when someone gets really close to what you need, but isn't exactly that, right? And sometimes it'll take a little minute. You'll have to get to know that person. It'll take some time for you to understand what you really need and don't need, right? And that type of shit, right? So let's get to Donovan, right? And I'm not going to go into the 5th nigga because the 5th nigga was my first nigga, right? I've done a whole video about him before, right? But let's get to Donovan, all right? Now, my boy Donovan, I met him on Tinder, right? And yeah, I met homeboy on Tinder. Hit homeboy up, we matched. Nigga was cute. All that type of shit, real standard. I was still living in Cali. I was in Inglewood at the time. This was before I moved to Long Beach. So what year was it? This had to be like 2020. I'm pretty sure it was 2020 that we met. But yeah, started talking on Tinder. You know, the vibes was cool. We were able, like, homeboys able to keep up a conversation. I know my niggas, you know, intelligent, all that type of shit. And Donovan is actually from Atlanta, right? He had moved to Cali, I think, like a year prior to me meeting him, right? So, but he didn't move to like LA. He lived in, I want to say Chino, but it's not Chino. Wherever the fuck it was, it just looked like Chino, right? So he was about an hour away with traffic. So, you know, trying to establish a connection with that kind of distance is a little more difficult, right? But yeah, after, I'll say, probably maybe a week of talking, you know, we linked for the first time. And it wasn't on no, you know, we just about to fuck type shit, you know, actually interested in getting to know a nigga or each other, right? We was both on the same page with that. But everything was real smooth, you know. We was able to joke, like, we talk shit about each other, not about each other, but, you know, talk shit like, I don't know. Can I even give y'all an example? Like on some, oh nigga, you gay, or like, oh, that's why you a bitch, type shit. Like we get each other's sense of humor. You feel me? We got similar sense of humor. Okay, so that's how shit started. We got to know each other. The vibes was cool, and we probably didn't get physical until like maybe a month into knowing each other, right? And I'm gonna just recall like the instances that I remember. So I think the first time that we got physical, I actually drove to his crib, and yeah, I drove to his crib. It was late at night when I got there. Not when I got there. I think I drove to his crib, and we was just smoking that day. Like, we smoked a blunt. We was just chilling, and it's not Chino, but like I said, it looked like Chino. So it really wasn't much to do over there. Like, we went to the smoke shop, we smoked a blunt, and then we walked around a place that looked like it wasn't shit going on, for real. There was, you couldn't see nothing. Like, it was maybe a little plaza over here and some train tracks over there, and then nothing but open space. So, just walking around, smoking, having a good time, you know. And by the time it got dark, we couldn't go back to his crib because I think not his brother, his cousin, he was staying with his cousin at the time. They were roommates. And I think his cousin's girlfriend was over there or some shit like that. So we just kicked it in my car. Or was it his car? Don't matter. Somebody's car. Yeah, so we just kicked it in the car. And the shit started getting physical, right? I can't really remember. I'm sure we did some kissing. I'm sure we did some kissing at some point. We didn't fuck because he wasn't, like, he was more of a verse top, so he wasn't like ready to bottom like that. You feel me? So yeah, it was more so like we got to like bumping and grinding type shit, you know. And what I remember explicitly is the song Stingy came on by Genuine. Pretty sure it's by Genuine. But y'all know the song, you know, Please forgive me, I'm just stingy. That song. That song. So that shit came on, and I don't know what happened, but whew, that did it. Like for both of us. Like I had this nigga was in my lap, and my unit was on brick. I'm sure his was on brick. Like and we was literally like bumping. Like I was dry humping this nigga in the back seat, and that shit was, yeah, that was like one of the what's one? I won't say the craziest turn on. Like that was like, yeah, no, that shit turned niggas on like something else. This shit was crazy. But like I said, we didn't fuck. We did a lot of that, but we didn't fuck. And you know, fast forward a couple weeks. We still on the same old shit, right? And this was before I realized that romantic spark, you're gonna feel that early on, right? Like when you kiss, I adamantly believe at this point, like when you kiss a nigga, you're gonna feel that shit, or you like when you kiss somebody, you know, like that first kiss will let you know, like on some, like, yeah, it's a chemical thing, y'all. It's just you either gonna feel it or you not. But I didn't know that at the time, right? Kissing this nigga felt great. Almost fucking him felt phenomenal. And we had chemistry, friendship chemistry, right? But yeah, this was early on. I was still figuring a lot of shit out, right? Like I was somewhat out. This was before my mom. This is before anybody knew, except my cousins. So I was still taking baby steps. I was learning. So this situation, the cocktail of feelings, you feel me, was unique. This was something I hadn't experienced before, right? So it got to a point, I say fast forward 2 weeks after the car shit, where he was actually like ready to bottom for a nigga, right? So one day we get a room at a motel and just kicking it. We turn on the TV. I think we was watching Modern Family. I don't know, whatever the fuck they play in motels. We was watching some shit, and then he went to the bathroom to go get ready, you know, and we smashed, right? And after we smashed, that was when it kind of clicked for me. I was like, okay. Because it wasn't like I was less interested in homeboy. It was just like I knew that I wasn't going to be any more interested than I was, right? It was going to be on some similar shit like how with Darius, right? Like we're friends, and we're friends with benefits. You feel me? That's when I knew it was going to be on some shit like that. You feel me? Now, I'm telling y'all all these stories. I'm saying all this because you might be like me where you figuring it out. And like I just want this to help y'all, you feel me? Because shit is complicated. It's not black and white, right? Sometimes it takes a little while for you to understand the way that you like somebody. But like I said, at this point, I'm like 100% sure that if you don't feel it on that first kiss, they're not the one. Y'all can have great chemistry. Y'all can be able to talk about anything. You know, that's a friendship, right? That's a friend who you're physically attracted to, and, you know, because y'all both want to fuck each other, y'all will. It's just that simple, in my opinion. All right. But I hope this helps some of y'all. If you confused, figuring it out like I was, that's it. All right. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see y'all later.